Hey, everybody. Welcome into STL Sports Central, presented by DraftKings. The crown is yours. And this is Domesticated Gamblers, your home for St. Louis sports gambling talk. I'm Eric Sontag. There's Shawn Surwillo and Tito Ulrich. Shawn is having some internet issues. We're going to roll with this. If we have any issues, we might take him off the screen, but we'll still be able to hear him okay. So I think that's what we're going to go with. Tito, you're not happy with Shawn at the moment.
No, absolutely not. This is absolute fraud. I got Spectrum Internet. I have no problems whatsoever. Figure out your internet provider, Mr. Sharp. My goodness. Take him off the screen anyway. Everyone just wants to see Tito's face anyway. I got the beautiful face. I got the looks that pay the bills. So let's just take him off that fraud. Let's take him off the screen itself, Eric.
Yeah, this is brutal. I guess because I live in Jefferson County, they don't care about me. So no internet here. Just dealing with these issues. It's been brutal for the last 7 days.
Well, we're going to roll with it here on Friday, August 1st. That's when we are recording the show. So we're going to be breaking down this weekend series with the Cardinals and Padres from a betting perspective. Certainly doesn't look like this team is going anywhere, making a charge towards October. So, like, if you're going to watch the Redbirds, you might as well try and win some money off it. So we're going to talk about this weekend series with the Padres. Also, very excited to talk some more NFL here on Domesticated Gamblers. We're going to be your home for football betting talk on STL Sports Central all season long. And today we're going to go through all the win totals for the teams in the AFC. We're going to let you know if we're going over or under. We're going to do the same thing next week for the NFC. And then we'll have our best bets here on the show, brought to you by Pretzel Boys. And like, my God, if you are not watching best bets, you are missing out on some big time winners. Shawn recently hit 5 in a row. I'm going for my third straight win today. And Tito, you had that streak of 5 straight winners, all at plus money, came to an end a couple weeks ago. But you came on the show last Friday, and your best bet was for Nick Kurtz of the A's to have 3 or more total bases. It was a plus 190. And all Nick Kurtz ended up doing was having one of the greatest games in the history of baseball. He goes 6 for 6 with 4 home runs, 6 runs scored, and 8 RBIs. So, Tito, Dr. Prop, I cannot wait to see what you have for us at the end of the show here today. So what is going on, man?
Oh, dude, I got a big time play today. My goodness, people are gonna be loving my best bet. And yeah, Nick Kurtz. All Tito does is know who Nick Kurtz is. I took some advice from Mr. Sharp, who has been talking about Nick Kurtz for the last several months. And this guy is just an absolute stud. This guy has it. I love this guy. So I got another big time play today that we'll be giving out. And my goodness, let's get into it, Daddy.
Looking forward to it. And Mr. Sharp, it wasn't your best bet, but you absolutely nailed your pick of the Cardinals game last Friday on the show. I think the whole world, including me and Tito, were on the Padres. Again, it was Nick Pivetta pitching last Friday. He's doing it again tonight. But last week it was against Miles Michaelis. So everyone was on the Padres, but you just have that great gut instinct, and that was a perfect example. You just saw it as a good spot for the Cardinals, even though everything was pointing against them. And the Redbirds won that game 3-0. So, like, that's what I'm talking about. Like, the Cardinals are almost certainly not going to be in contention here in August and September. But, man, like, tune into our Cardinals talk because you've really had a great read on this team all season long. And there's going to be lots of money-making opportunities down the stretch here, right?
Oh yeah, it's time to start fading the birds. They got nothing to play for now. The players in the clubhouse, they got to feel defeated after they sold off everybody. They did keep most position players, so the offense will be able to score some runs against mediocre pitching. I don't like them. We'll get in that later. But yeah, Miles Michaelis, he's been pitching pretty well. Everyone's dogging this guy, but he's still pitching pretty well. Yeah, and then also on that Kurtz. Did you guys see he was about 6 inches away from 5 home runs? I mean,
Yeah.
what an incredible performance.
It was outstanding. And so was the best bet performance on this show as of late. So, looking forward to those best bets at the end of the show. And we want to hear your best bets as well. All you got to do is leave us a comment on this video with your best bet for the weekend. If you are the first person to comment and your bet hits, you win a $20 gift card from Pretzel Boys. So it's that easy. It takes like 5 seconds. So leave your best bet for a chance to cash in on some free pretzels. Pretzel Boys, it is no doubt delicious. Outstanding pretzels. They have 5 locations across the area. Find yours at stlpretzelboys.com. Also hit the like button and subscribe to our STL Sports Central YouTube channel. And Domesticated Gamblers is also available on podcast on Apple and Spotify. And our show today is brought to you by James Carlton with State Farm Insurance. And do you ever look at your expenses and think, all right, where can I tighten things up a bit? That was me late last year. My wife and I were looking at what we spent in 2024, just trying to be smarter with our money. And one thing that stood out was our insurance. And here's the thing, everybody needs insurance, whether it's for your car, your home, your apartment. And it's just one of those things you have to have. But most of us don't think twice about who our agent is. And that could be costing you more than you realize. So last year, I got a renewal notice from my old agent, and the rate had gone way up. So I got in touch with James Carlton and his team. I sent over my current policies. He ran the numbers, and just like that, he saved me over $800 for 2025. Same coverage, just way better price. The switch, it was painless. James and his team, they handled everything, made it super easy. Now I've got an extra $800 in my pocket this year. Tito made the switch as well. He's saving a bunch of money. So all you got to do is go to carltoninsurance.net, or you can just give them a quick call and then email them PDFs of your current policies like I did. They'll take a look and let you know if they could save you money. And if you're anything like me and Tito, there's a very good chance that they can. When you get a quote, mention Domesticated Gamblers or STL Sports Central, and they'll donate to Mizzou's NIL fund on your behalf. We'll be talking Mizzou football here in just a couple weeks. So give James Carlton a call, 314-961-4800, or hit up carltoninsurance.net. It's quick, it's easy, and potentially big savings. And it's not just me and Tito. There are now 440 five-star reviews on Google. So you will definitely be in good company. If your insurance costs a leg and an arm, call James Carlton, State Farm. All right, guys, let's get started with the Cardinals. They stripped down the bullpen this week. Ryan Helsley, Steven Matz, Phil Maton, all gone at the trade deadline and very much on brand. They do absolutely nothing else, nothing bold, nothing innovative. There's obviously tons of great content here on STL Sports Central about what the Cardinals did and didn't do this week. And for our show here, I want to talk about it from a betting perspective, because I would imagine there are a lot of you, myself and Shawn included here, that are a little bit uncomfortable right now holding tickets for the Cardinals to go over their season win total of 75.5. They are 55-55 as we sit here today. So there's 52 games left. We need 21 more wins to cash this over. So that's a record of 21-31 or better. So Tito, I'm going to start with you. Is the over 75.5 in trouble here? And where do you think they end up?
Yeah, I told you guys after the first weekend, after the All-Star break, that the over 75.5 was in trouble. And I'm going to stick to those guns in regards to, this team is not going to win more than 20 more games. I think they're going to win they may not even win 70 games, folks. So this is an absolute dumpster fire. I'm not happy. A bunch of frauds in the front office. I'm not happy. So yeah, it's not looking too good. So no, I would ship the under if I could. But my underplay is looking phenomenal at this point.
Shawn, what do you think here?
I think it's going to be tight. I think it's going to be real tight. We're going to have to play 600 ball at home. This West Coast trip's going to be tough. San Diego, they built, or they took some pieces, and so they're building. They think they can get in the playoffs, and I think San Diego is going to probably take it to us this weekend. And then you go to the Dodgers, and then the Cubs come home. And we're really going to need to win 2 out of 3 there. That's going to be tough. The Rockies, I think we can take care of business against the Rockies. The Yankees, they're kind of struggling a little bit. We'll see. Miami, we can beat Miami. We can beat Tampa. We can beat Pittsburgh. We can beat Cincinnati. So it's still not out of question. And we'll see. Well, there's going to be some young kids called up to get in this bullpen. And maybe things turn around a little bit more than you think. But it doesn't look good. And the players, I mean, my God, when you come to the clubhouse, how are you going to be geared up to play now? So the edge factor for me, I'm going to be fading the Cardinals a lot here down the stretch.
And how can you say the fact of the matter is that, how do you come into the clubhouse and be able to play? You play for the best fans in baseball. That's how you come in here and play, okay? You play for the name on the front of the jersey, not for the name on the back, okay? It's no one's fault but their own that they can't have batters can actually be sold, okay? So the fact of the matter is you got old school, old decrepit players, young players that can't hit, that haven't proven to hit, and this is an absolute dumpster fire. What a bunch of frauds. You self-included, Mr. Sharp. You're talking last week about how we can make the playoffs. And I'm trying to tail you. And now look, they're an absolute dumpster fire. I can't believe it. I'm all fired up. This is an absolute joke. I can't believe what they did. They didn't do anything offensively. Big wolf.
Hot take here. I think Brendan Donovan should have been traded. I don't like his player profile long term. He doesn't have exit velos that we like to see that are going to hang around. He's another Tommy Edman kind of player, I feel like. And I think in 2 years, we're going to really regret not trading this guy. I know last year I was pounding on the table to trade Goldschmidt because he was, at the end of his deal. Nothing got done. This is Moselak's biggest flaw that he's had here. He just holds on to his pieces too long.
I'm going to make the executive call here. Shawn, go ahead and turn off your camera. The video's a little bit too glitchy. I think it's kind of distracting, but we can hear you. No problem. So let's just see that nice, beautiful picture of you for the rest. So there you go. There you go.
Goodness, what an absolute joke. Make the picture a little bit bigger at least. Come on, Easy. Make the picture bigger. Big wolf.
Not that technologically savvy. We see you frozen again, Shawn.
Look, that's even better. I like that, Daddy.
That does. He's smiling. He looks good. All right, we'll roll with that. I actually agree with you about Donovan. And we were talking about that Donovan, Burleson, and Nootbaar. Cardinals are getting a lot of calls about them yesterday.
According to Bob Nightingale, who the hell knows if he was or not?
Yeah, I'm back. He's back. Let's just see your picture. Let's see your picture. Let's not go with the video. There we go. Let's just roll with that.
All right.
I think we're going to be good to go.
Technical difficulties, sponsored by Charter.
Well, I think you make a good point. Donovan, I feel like his stock's really high right now. I think they could have really tried and cashed in on him. I agree. I'm not sure his profile projects to be a winning player, several years from now. I do think he's kind of the culture guy. He's probably the leader on the team. So I understand not getting rid of him. Burleson, I want to keep him. This dude's got about 800 OPS. I want to see him. That's the kind of player you want when you're kind of in this rebuilding phase. But Nootbaar, man, I wish they would have pulled the plug on him. Obviously, we have no idea what kind of offers that the Cardinals got for him, but I just feel like they have had this hard on for Nootbaar for quite a while now. And
you got to think that the asking price for Donovan was probably pretty fair, and you're not going to win next year. Let's be honest. We don't have anybody in the rotation that's going to, be a solid ace. Donnie should have went, and we should have got a haul in return, and then you could have built for the future.
Yeah, so I guess we're never really going to know what the offers actually were, but in terms of just the over-under for the rest of the season from a gambling perspective, I agree, Shawn, this is going to be sweaty. They need 21 more wins, and I went through the schedule last night. I just went, win-loss for each series. How many games are they going to win? I actually came up with my first round of doing that. I came up with exactly 21 wins as I projected those wins and losses. So, I think a pretty good comp is 2 years ago when the Cardinals sold off Jack Flaherty and Jordan Hicks at the deadline. Cardinals were 47-60 at that time. They went 24-31 the rest of the way. That's a winning percentage of 436. If they play 436 ball the rest of the way, they finish at 77 wins.
Yeah.
So that gets us home, but barely. But I think one thing in favor, if you have a ticket on the over, I think this team is better than the team in 2023. That team was never in it all season long. But I'm concerned here for a couple reasons. We already have a starting rotation that's at big time regression. And now your bullpen is depleted with 3 of your best arms gone. But just as big a concern for me, if not bigger, is this schedule. So starting night in San Diego, the next 9 games and 12 of the next 15 are against teams currently in the playoffs. And of the 52 games left, 30 of them are against teams over 500. So
but the one there that San Francisco, they sold, so they're above 500, correct?
Not anymore. They've went on a skid here, so they're not included in that. There's some Cincinnati in there. Cincinnati's still kind of hanging around, so hopefully the Cardinals can do some damage against them. But
we kind of own Cincinnati, I'm not too worried about Cincy.
Yeah, I just think this could really go sideways here in these next 9 games. Because the morale's got to be down. That's just human nature. And then it's Padres, Dodgers, and Cubs. So I think it's super dangerous. I think we're sweating this out to the very end. There is no market right now on DraftKings for exact win totals for the Cardinals, but keep an eye on that if you have an opinion, because I think this is going to go down to the very, very end. Should be very.
I agree, Eric. We could see 8 losses out of 9 games here.
Yeah, for sure. I'm hoping for one win this weekend in San Diego, which should be a very interesting series with all the beanball stuff they had with the Padres last weekend at Busch. Padres made a bunch of additions at the deadline yesterday. So tonight it's Matthew Liberatore up against our friend Nick Pivetta. Tomorrow the starters are Michael McGreevy and Randy Vasquez. And Sunday it's Andre Palante for the Cardinals, still TBD for San Diego. Series odds, Padres are a minus 180 favorite, and the Redbirds are a plus 145 dog. The odds here on Friday with Liberatore and Pivetta, Padres up to a minus 194 favorite. That has been steamed up big time this morning. They opened up at minus 140 yesterday. So that is a huge movement. Cardinals now a plus 158 dog. Your total is 7.5. So Shawn, I'm going to start with you because you were spot on last week taking the Cardinals to beat Pivetta. So can they do it again tonight? Sounds like you're not quite as bullish this week.
No, they're not going to do it tonight. Nick Pivetta at home. We talked about his home road splits. He's a very good pitcher at home. And Matthew Liberatore, I mean, at best, this guy's going to go 4 innings tonight. They're already starting to limit his innings. So I'd be looking at Matthew Liberatore's props for outs. I can't pull up anything because of my internet issues right now. So I can't pull.
Oh, my internet. I can't pull anything up.
I can't get DraftKings pulled up. But I'd be looking to fade Liberatore's props tonight big time because what do you think? 4 innings at the most. And if he pitches good. So he might go 2 or 3 innings, and this will be a bullpen game. If the Padres were still at minus 140, we'd be playing them. But minus 190, it's priced too high. But yeah, fade the Birds big time.
Liberatore went 4 1/3 last week against the Padres. It was not efficient, 77 pitches. I think he'll go past 4 innings. I just pulled it up. His prop for outs recorded is 15.5. So that's 5 1/3 innings.
Under. Give me the under.
Yeah, it's minus 165 though. That's the thing. So the books are expecting him to go. If he goes just 5 innings, you would hit the under. But it's unders minus 165. Over 15.5 outs is plus 125. I don't know. Potentially you could do a Liberatore under on his outs. You could parlay that with the Padres to win the game, and that would give you a price of plus 110.
That's not bad.
As I put that in on DraftKings. So Padres money line, Libby under 15.5 outs, plus 110. I actually have a same game parlay for this game. I'll tell you about here in just a minute. But Tito, I'll let you go next. What do you got here?
Yeah, Liberatore has not looked sharp the last few starts. I know they gave him a little bit of a break after the All-Star break, so I don't really know what Mr. Sharp's talking about going 4 innings. Who do they have in the damn bullpen that'll actually even be able to pitch? So they want to stretch him out. They want him to accrue innings, not limit innings. So I don't know. I got a sneaky suspicion. I'm gonna go with the Birds tonight. They didn't do anything offensively. They didn't do anything. So who the hell knows what happens? Maybe Liberatore turns back the clock to earlier this season, and then all of a sudden he pitches lights out, and Nick Pivetta, maybe they win like a 3-2 or a 4-3 game, something like that. And they kind of surprised some people because they didn't lose anything offensively. You still got Burleson, you still got Contreras, you still got Donovan, you still got Wynn, who's been on a heater since the All-Star break. So, I don't necessarily know if they're going to be totally demoralized. Look at who they gave up. They didn't really give up a whole hell of a lot. They gave up the closer, who was a complete clown this season. They should have sold his ass last year. And then you have, who else do you have? You have Matz, who he's been pretty effective.
Matt's got dealt, brother.
I know he got dealt, so he's been effective, but that's not really anything to go home about because Liberatore will go. Maybe he'll go 6 innings tonight, Day. So give me the Birds. I just convinced myself. Even after the dumpster fire that I talked about yesterday with the trade deadline, I still think the Birds have some magic left in them. So let me go with the Birds tonight.
Listen, can we clip this off when Tito said, I'm going with the Birds? Eric said, and that was phenomenal clip. We need to clip that off because Eric and me both know what stage we're in with Tito.
Yes. The stage is
your damn tongue.
The stages of seasons dying for Tito. There's an 8-step process that Tito goes through. This is the extreme optimism phase where the Cardinals think they can. Tito thinks the Cardinals can make a rally here. Yeah, I just think it's a really bad recipe tonight. If Libby, I think Libby could go 5 innings. I would be surprised if he goes higher than that. Obviously, the books agree, but the total here is 7.5. Like that's a low total. So that while the Padres are super favored, what that says is they're expecting a great outing from Pivetta.
Yeah.
And Liberatore to be okay. Liberatore's earned runs prop is 2.5, and the under's juiced at -125. Over 2.5 earned runs for Libby is even money plus 100. So, at 7.5, the books are not projecting a blowout here, but just a bad spot. I think Leahy and JoJo are probably your 2 best arms left in the pen. I haven't seen news yet on who they're bringing up to replace these 3 guys that got dealt in the last couple days. But and Shawn, I know you also don't like a pitcher when he faces a good lineup 2 times in a row. That's what we have with Libby here tonight.
Yes.
And the Padres have gotten hot again. They've won 5 in a row. They started it Saturday and Sunday against the Cardinals last weekend. Then they sweep the Mets. They're scoring a bunch of runs. Now they have the reinforcements coming. And even though the Cardinals beat Pivetta last week, he was very good. It wasn't his fault. He went 6 1/3, gave up just 2 earned runs on 3 hits. The streak for Pivetta now, his last 6 starts, he's got a 0.96 ERA. So he's been crazy hot. Shawn, you referenced the home numbers. 11 starts at Petco Park. Pivetta's ERA is 2.07. I mean, it just feels like the Cardinals are walking into a hornet's nest here. So my bet, plus money, same game parlay on DraftKings. It's for the Padres to win. And I'm taking notes from Dr. Prop on these player props for total bases. My second leg is Manny Machado to have 2 or more total bases. Dude is just on fire. I looked up his last 8 games.
And he rakes against left-handed pitching.
He does. OPS over 900 against lefties this season. And his last 8 games overall, Machado's 18 for 34. So averaging over 2 hits per game. That's a 529 average. He's got 2 bombs, 11 ribbies. And he's going to be fired up after he got drilled a couple times last weekend. He strikes me as the type of guy that's going to thrive on playing with emotion. I could be wrong on that, but just that's kind of my vibe on him. So I like the Padres to win and Machado to have 2 or more total bases. You get that at plus 164 on DraftKings. This is your weekly reminder to follow me on the Action Network app where you can get all my picks. Because I actually made this bet last night right before I went to bed. The price I got was plus 216. Nice. So now we saw this movement on the Padres this morning. So as we're recording this, now that same game parlay is at plus 164. So I got big time value there at plus 216. So follow me in the Action Network app. My username there is Sontag, up over 23 units there since starting to track my plays there last year.
What's all this nonsense you talk about in regards to, he's been pitching out of his skis. He's going to regress. Where's all that talk? I heard all that talk last week in regards to Pivetta not pitching very well. And now you guys are talking about how he's been awesome the last 8 or 9 starts. Where's the regression coming? Is it coming? I don't know if he's really good or not.
That was more Shawn making that argument, and I said I see where he's coming from with it. I mean, no one's a below 1 ERA pitcher.
Right, here we go. This is where we're going to come in, baby.
At home, the park plays for how he pitches, so I don't like to fade him at home, but I think on the road you can fade Pivetta and get a good price all year, the rest of the year.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I feel like this is not the spot to fade Pivetta.
And I'll say one thing on Libby here. I think Libby makes maybe 2 more starts, and then they're going to shut this guy down with a phantom injury.
Man,
no way.
I don't know. This is the kind of thing that you've tended to be right about, though, when you kind of call out these situations. Because really, at this point, what do they have to play for? I mean, my God, I don't even want to talk about this, but you think it's possible the players are feeling, man, if we just sweep the Padres this weekend, we can go on a heater like the Tigers did last year when the Tigers sold. I'm not saying that's going to happen. To me, this season's toast. It's all about the future. But I guess it's possible in the locker room they could be thinking that. I don't think so, though.
Us against the world, Daddy. Let's go. Let's shock the world. They don't believe in us. Let's go. We got the best fans in baseball. Let's perform for the best fans in baseball. Let's go, baby.
And one last thing here with Mike Schilt. I was a big fan of his, but I really think this guy's a Bush League manager. All his team does is hit people, and they are clearing benches. He's it against the Dodgers. He does it against us. Every week, the Padres are getting into a fight with somebody. Calm down, Mike Schilt. It's okay.
I think he comes from the Tony La Russa old school mentality. I have no problem with it. I actually thought this, I want to move on, but I thought those teams handled it very professionally last week. I think Contreras and Machado, if two guys are going to get drilled on your team, that's probably the two guys that I feel like can handle it the most, where I think they kind of knew the situation. Maybe there'll be more funny business this weekend, but I kind of have a feeling it came to an end, but we shall see. So let's talk a little bit about DraftKings pick six, because like I just talked about, I love that Machado 2 or more total bases prop. So I would recommend making that part of your play tonight on DraftKings pick six. So download the DraftKings pick six app today and you can cash in on your player prop knowledge. It's super easy and fun. Just select 2 or more players from any sport and choose that they'll have more or less of a stat. So the Machado prop I'm high on. I would also put in there tonight Bo Bichette to have 2 or more total bases. He's been on fire for the Blue Jays, hitting 357 over the last month with an OPS of 941. He's facing Michael Wacha tonight. Bichette in his career against Wacha, 5 for 13 with a home run. So I think he can get 2 or more total bases tonight as well. That's the kind of stuff you can do with DraftKings Pick 6. It's available right here in Missouri. So don't miss out on the fun and don't settle for a smaller payout. Switch to Pick 6. And right now, new customers can get $25 in bonus picks with their first deposit of $5. So download the DraftKings Pick 6 app now and use code STL Sports. That's code STL Sports for new customers to get $25 in bonus picks with their first deposit of $5. Better payouts, bigger wins, only with Pick 6 from DraftKings. The crown is yours.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org in Connecticut. Must be 18 and over. Age and eligibility restrictions vary by jurisdiction. Pick 6 not available everywhere, including New York and Ontario. Void where prohibited. 1 per new customer. Bonus awarded as non-withdrawable Pick 6 credits that expire in 14 days. Limited time offer. See terms at pick6.draftkings.com/promos.
All right, guys, let's talk some NFL. And our topic here this week is win totals for all the teams in the AFC using the odds on DraftKings. We're going to go through each team by division, let you know whether we're going over or under. And let's fly through this with about 34 minutes left to go and 16 teams to cover. So let's start with the AFC East and the team favored to have the most wins in the NFL. And that's the Buffalo Bills. Their win total is set at 12.5. The under is juiced there. The under is minus 150. The over is at plus 125. And I'll get us kicked off here. It's not a bet for me because I think the number is right, but I lean over. I think they go 13-4 with 12-5 being the next most likely outcome. The strength of schedule is ranked 23rd based on last season's record. So the schedule is very manageable. I looked up their toughest games. They're probably Baltimore, Kansas City, Cincinnati, and Philadelphia. All those games are at home. So I love this team. I love the continuity. I think this is the year for the Buffalo Bills. Finally. So I lean over 12.5. But again, I don't recommend a bet on that. Tito, are you buying my argument on the Bills?
I don't know if I'm buying the argument on them winning the Super Bowl, but I'm definitely buying the over on the win total. One of the easiest schedules based off of last year's record. So I actually like the over in this play. I think that they are going to run away with it in the AFC East. So I would take the over on 12.5 for the Bills.
Yeah, nice plus money price at plus 125. Shawn, is this unanimous?
Well, the Buffalo Bills will not be circling the wagons come January. I don't think they're going to win the Super Bowl. The reason I don't is the Bills don't play enough structured offense. It's always Josh Allen running around trying to make plays. In the playoffs, that doesn't always work. Yeah, it's going to be tough to get that over. It was 11.5 a few weeks ago, and it went up to 12. I think the over's still the play, but watch out for New England. Mike Vrabel's there. Drake May's the real deal. So I could see New England stealing a game that people probably think, they're going to get swept there. But I would have to go over if I was going to bet it, but it's just a lean. It's not a bet.
Yeah, I hear you. You can bet the over 11.5 on DraftKings.
That's minus 160 though.
I see it's up to minus 175 now. So,
oh my goodness.
Yeah, I just feel like that. I think it's priced right. And when you see a win total that's priced right, we can give our lean, but I think for it sounds like it's going to be a pass. Tito sounds like He's buying the Buffalo Bills though. New England Patriots 8.5 is their number. The overs at -120, under at +100. Even money there. Shawn, you kick us off here.
Yeah, I'm going to take the over. I think Mike Vrabel comes in. He's a heck of a coach. We saw him down in Tennessee do a lot with, a little bit. Those rosters weren't very good. I like Dre May a lot. He showed a lot of promise last year. He's mobile. And I think Mike Vrabel gets that defense turned around, and I like the over.
Tito?
Big Wolf. Mike Vrabel had the best running back in football when he was with Tennessee. Derrick Henry, Jack. So, Big Wolf to Drake May. He's no Larry Longarm. He's no Drew Bledsoe. I've never liked the Patriots ever since they shipped him to Buffalo. I'll tell you that right now. Taking the under on the Patriots. I don't care if they have one of the easiest records or easiest schedules in football. Give me the under 8.5.
He also had Ryan Tannehill at quarterback.
Manageable, serviceable quarterback, manage his game effectively, run the ball, have a good defense. They got a terrible quarterback. They got no running game. All they have is maybe an okay defense. Big Wolf to you in the over. Give me the under on the Patriots win total of 8.5. Wolf. I mean, that's another plus money play too, Jack.
It is. I mean, the Titans made the AFC Championship in 2020. They lost to the Chiefs
with Ryan Tannehill.
They made it to the AFC Championship with Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, Vrabel.
Credit to Mike Vrabel.
Because they had Derrick Henry running the damn ball 80 times a game.
I don't know, man. I do think they fall short of the playoffs, but I like what they're building here. So I lean over. I think they get to 9. So it does fall short of a bet for me. I'm on board with Vrabel. Like, he just always has tough defenses. Josh McDaniels is like back as the OC for like the 15th time in his career in New England. I agree, Shawn. I like Drake May. I like Travion Henderson, the running back from Ohio State that they brought in.
Stephon Diggs on offense.
Diggs, yeah. I think that you can see the building blocks here. Also easy schedule, 3rd easiest in the NFL. So I do think they get the 9 wins. Another reason I'm not betting it, though, I feel like everyone is targeting the Patriots as this sexy team. And I don't like joining the crowd like that, especially in the NFL. Miami Dolphins number is dropped to 7.5, over -105, under -115. Tito, what you got?
Love the over. Mike McDaniel, an outstanding coach. Maybe Tua gets hurt, maybe he doesn't, but they still got a great, wide receiver. And I like Mike McDaniel a lot. So give me the over 7.5. They're going to be where Patriots are slated to be. So they'll be fighting for a playoff spot, being second in the AFC. It's according to Tito, Jack.
Yeah, this number actually dropped. It was 8.5 earlier in the offseason. Again, I'm not betting it because I don't like getting the worst of the number, but I do agree with this movement. I'm disagreeing with Tito here. I don't know if you saw they have a depleted secondary. One of their starting corners is out for the season after getting hurt in practice this week. They traded away Jalen Ramsey. I'm sure they planned for that, but I can never bet an over on a win total for the Dolphins as long as Tua's the quarterback. Like we talked about this a couple weeks ago, Tito. It's just so scary watching this dude play. And if or when he gets another concussion, the Dolphins are going to be super careful with him. So I hope to all that is holy that Tua stays healthy because he's a good quarterback when he's out there. And he also seems like a really likable guy. But I definitely lean under here because if he gets hurt, it's Zach Wilson time. And that means the season's done for. Not pretty good. So lean under 7.5. Shawn, who are you agreeing with here?
This one's in pocket. I love the under here. You got a quarterback that's, his track record is he can't stay healthy. Tyreek Hill, I think he's 32 years old now. He's getting older. The NFL's caught up to Daniel's offense. I love the under here. You got New England team that's on the rise. You got the Bills team that's, maybe one of the best teams in football. So I don't think Miami gets this done. I wouldn't be surprised if Tua is on the bench with a concussion by the end of the year. It's tough to say that. I like the guy, but he's not built for the NFL. He's too small.
Yep. I'm with you. It's such a shame. I still I might have to talk with you more about this on air, whether I put that in my portfolio, the under 7.5. I just don't like that it dropped from 8.5.
I see.
Under 8.5 right now is -180 on DraftKings. So I don't know. Let's see about that. The last team in the AFC East, the New York Jets, their total's at 6.5. Also juice on the under here of -145. The over's +120. it's a similar situation. I like the under here, but I want to wait to see if I get a better price than minus 145. I'm hoping I get it to around minus 120. I might bet it anyway, just because the schedule looks very daunting early on. Their bye comes in week 9, and I'm projecting they're 2-6 at that point, and then the season's pretty much cooked. And I just think Justin Fields, I think he's a much better fantasy quarterback than a real life quarterback. Like, he's a top 12. He's top 12 fantasy quarterback preseason, but he's just 14-30 as a starter. So, like, he's not a winner. He can put up some stats, but he's not a winner. So I like the under 6.5 here. Shawn, where are you going?
Yeah, I can't wait for week 1. You got Pittsburgh, old Rodgers against the Jets. That ought to be fun. A little drama. NFL knows what they're doing when they're writing a script, don't they? I mean, week 1, here we go. Yeah, under here. It's the Jets, Jets. We know what the Jets do. They do nothing but lose. Justin Fields, he's not a winner. I'm spot on with you, Eric. Give me the under. This one's in pocket.
Tito, join us. Join us.
Yeah, sure. I'll join you. I don't give a rip about the Jets, Jets, big woof. Who cares? The NFL doesn't care about the damn Jets. I don't care about the damn Jets. Let's leave it alone.
All right, AFC North, Baltimore Ravens, your projected division winner with a win total of 11.5, over minus 115, under minus 105. Tito, kick us off here.
Yeah, give me the under on this absolute fraud of a franchise, the Baltimore Ravens. It's time for Lamar Jackson to hang it up. I would say no. I'm just fucking around. No, but I like the under. I think this is a solid division. With you got the Bengals and the Steelers. Maybe Aaron Rodgers can turn back the clock. So I like the under, especially with a tough schedule like the Ravens have.
Shawn?
Boy, this one's tough here. I do agree with Tito on the division. I think Cincinnati plays a little better. I think Pittsburgh's going to be, every year Mike Tomlin has a winning record. So Cleveland, dumpster fire. It's the Browns. But if I had to bet it, it's going to be a lean of the over. That defense is going to be top notch. They brought in Alexander. He's going to help them in their secondary. And when you got Lamar, who sucks the defense to the outside, then you have these big gaping holes for Henry up the middle. So it would be a lean to the over, but no bet.
Yeah, I think it's a similar situation as the Bills. I just think this number's spot on, where
Correct.
They either finish with 11 or 12. I lean under just because Lamar had an absolute ceiling season last year. He had 41 touchdowns and just 4 picks. Like, that is just ridiculous. And even with that crazy season he had, they went 12-5, which is what they need to do again to cash this over here. So yeah. I just think there's a little bit of Lamar regression coming here. Still going to be a great quarterback, but just there's no way he's going to be as good as last year. So I lean under 11.5. Again, not a bet for me.
And,
Cincinnati,
go ahead. They have a tough schedule, at Buffalo, then they get the Lions, then they're at Kansas City, Houston, and then the Rams. That's a tough schedule first 6 weeks. Good points, Eric. Very good.
Yep. Cincinnati Bengals total is 9.5, over minus 120, under even money plus 100. I love the over 9.5 here. This team was just snake bitten last season early on, where just tons of things went wrong. They were 4-8, and then they went on that absolute heater with 5 straight wins. They finished at 9-8. And if they would have snuck in the playoffs, I think they could have done some major damage. I'm sure the Chiefs had a little talk in their locker room when they headed to Denver for that last game of the season, when they had everything wrapped up, and they laid down for the Broncos. I'm really high on Burrow as a real life quarterback. He's kind of in that second tier in fantasy just because he doesn't have the rushing upside. But I love Burrow in real life. I love Chase Brown. I think he's going to be a first-round pick in fantasy drafts in 2026. Obviously, Chase and Higgins are incredible. Defense was better down the stretch last season. I know that they had their struggles, but they improved. I love the Bengals this year. I think they're going to win the division. And I think you really cash this over 9.5 without much of a sweat here. Shawn, what do you think?
I don't think they win a division. I'm still not sold on their defense. I don't know if Trey Hendrickson showed up to camp yet or not. He's a major part of that defense to create pressure. The Bengals, you can look up this stat, but I think they've lost every game since their head coach took over. And
wait, what? What's that stat?
Their first game, their opening game, I believe. They've lost every game under their head coach since he's taken over. Their opening game.
Yes. That sounds familiar. I feel like I remember hearing that.
Because last year, everybody in the survivor pool was on Cincinnati, and they got blown out week 1. They should have won that game. Cincinnati's another, one of these organizations I just don't believe in. I don't believe that they're a top-tier organization. They have a top-tier quarterback, but I don't believe in their defense. I don't think they win the division. But I do think the number's just about right because that's what Joe Burrow does. He can win you 8 or 9 games just because he's maybe the best pure pocket passer in the game right now. But I don't love anything here. No lean, no play for me.
Yeah, Bengals, I'd be stunned if they lose week 1 this year because it is on the road, but it's at Cleveland in week 1. So hopefully
I would not be stunned. I would not be stunned. The NFC or the AFC North, these teams play each other very, very tough. I would not be stunned if Cincinnati loses week 1. They're never ready to go week 1.
God damn it. God, I hope that doesn't happen because I'm betting this. I'm going to be mad if they lose to effing Browns. Tito, what you got here?
I got my polo shirt on because of Joe Burrow swag. I love Joe Burrow. My son Ben loves Joe Burrow. But that absolute fraud of a coach, Zach Taylor, what an absolute abysmal hire. That guy needs to be shipped out of Cincinnati. If they want to win anything,
I agree,
they
Tito.
need to change coaches. That guy is an absolute fraud. I'll tell you that
I agree.
right now.
I agree.
So I love Joe Burrow. I love the over. And thanks for the stats of Zach Taylor never winning a single game that you kind of mentioned mistakenly. Obviously, it was a mistake. It was all good. But yeah, I think the over. I think I would go with the over. But it's only what do you guys call it? It's only a lean big
Lean.
one. It's not in pocket. I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, he's never won his opening game as a head coach with
What a
Cincinnati. And that's a trend that, as a head coach, he doesn't have his team ready to go. He's got to get them ready to go. Week 1, you got to be ready.
Yeah, lean, but for me, when I say that, I essentially mean I'm not betting it, but if I was forced to make a pick, like gun to my head, that's what I would go with. So I know a lot of leans in this. I do have a few bets in these division bets, but don't be betting like every single win total. It's a bad idea. Like pick out a few that you really like and put them in there. How about the Pittsburgh Steelers? I think this number's perfect again. 8.5. The over and under are both -110. Shawn, you referenced Mike Tomlin never having a losing season as a head coach. So it's a lean on the over for me because of that stat. Because if that trend continues, the over cashes here if they go 9-8. And I think that's very much in play. I'm not betting it yet, though, because I want to see what Aaron Rodgers looks like in preseason. But even if he looks like he's just like average or above average, I think the over 8.5 is a good bet here. Shawn, what do you think on your boy Rodgers and the Steelers?
Yeah, this one's in pocket. I love the over. This defense got better. They brought in Jalen Ramsey. It's always a stud defense. Every year, you think about Pittsburgh, you think about the Steel Curtain defense. Mike Tomlin's kept that tradition alive. And I think Aaron Rodgers, everybody gave him a lot of crap last year, but he was 27 touchdowns, 11 picks on a terrible Jets team. I think he had more passing touchdowns than Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, not combined, but through the season. So I love the over here. I just think the way Pittsburgh plays, Aaron Rodgers doesn't have to be the superstar. He can, Russell Wilson won that many games last year, him and Fields combined with Pittsburgh. And, Aaron Rodgers can eat their lunch. So this is an overplay for me. I think Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf, this team gets it done. And I like them to win that division.
Tito, you slurping on Aaron Rodgers and Mike Tomlin with me and Shawn.
I'm not slipping on Aaron Rodgers, but I love me some Mike Tomlin, man. That's a handsome-looking fella right there. Mm-hmm. So just for that, I'm going to go with the over. I'll go with you guys and go with the over. Or go with Mr. Sharp at least.
I never want to see you lick your lips like that ever again.
We see these.
Oh, come on. You love it.
We see these older quarterbacks make moves. And, the Jets organization, that was a bad place for Rodgers to go. They were depending on him to be, their holy savior.
Best player in football.
Right. And, he's not that guy anymore. He's too old. But on a Pittsburgh team that has great culture, all he has to do is make good reads late in games, and I think he can still do that.
Yeah, great culture. Very good point. I trust in Tomlin. So I think I'm going to join you and put a unit on that's over the 8.5 for the Steelers. Tito, I'll let you kick it off with the factory of sadness that is the Cleveland Browns. Their win total is 5.5. Got to pay some juice on the under at -140. The over is at +115.
Yeah, this is another absolute fraud of a franchise. I don't know why in the world they guarantee over $200+ million to Deshaun Watson for not even being able to play a lot. So big woof to that. I'm gonna stay the hell away from this franchise. I'll tell you that right now. I don't know why you went to me for the damn Browns, a big fraud of a franchise. They must have a pooper scooper for a logo. Big woof to you.
Sean, what do you think here?
Yeah, this AFC North, the Browns, they're always so shitty, but somehow they end up beating Cincinnati once a year. They end up beating Pittsburgh once a year, and they end up beating Baltimore once a year, and they end up with 4 or 5 wins. That's how it works. It's just incredible how that division plays each other. But yeah, no way we could take the over here. I don't believe in Sanders. Joe Flacco, come on, there's no way I can put my money on these quarterbacks.
Like the saying, what is it? If you have 2 quarterbacks, you really have none.
Yeah.
I think the Browns have like 5 quarterbacks, and I think they still have none. Like I'm not sold on any of them. Yeah, it's Flacco, Watson, Sanders, and then they got Pickett, and then the Dylan Gabriel, like the kid from Oregon, might be pretty decent, but they literally have 5 quarterbacks on their roster. I don't think they have any. I want to bet the under, but again, it's similar to the Jets. I want something better than -140. I think it's the Browns and the Saints that are competing for the number 1 pick in the draft here. Browns still only won 3 games last year, so they have to double that. So, I don't know. I think I'm talking myself into this under 5.5. I'm gonna wait see if I get a better number, but if it's like the week before the season, it's sitting there at -140. I think I'm gonna bet it. AFC South. I hate this division, but let's talk about it. Houston Texans are your division favorite, and their win total is 9.5 with juice on the under at -120. The overs at even money. I lean under here. Division champs last season at 10-7. I mean, I think they're going to win the South again almost by default just because this division's so blah. But as I went through game by game, I think the most likely record is 9-8. That really tough road schedule. So you got your 3, division road games, and then there are 5 non-division road games: Rams, Ravens, Chiefs, Chargers, and at Seattle. I know the Seahawks aren't great, but that's always a tough place to play. So just the lean for me, but I'd go under 9.5. Tito, where are you going?
I love the Ryans. I love the Texans. I love D'Amico Ryan. So I think, I do think with the Jaguars and Colts having kind of a favorable schedules, I'm a little worried about them winning the division, but I like the over 9.5 wins.
John?
I don't like the over. I think Joe Mixon's banged up already. He might not even be ready for week 1. I just see some regression here. I don't like them to win the division. I would lean under, but I'm with you, Eric. I think it's spot on. I think the numbers are spot on.
Yep. Jacksonville Jaguars total is 7.5 with juice to the over at -125. I am really, really torn here because I like a lot of the talent on the team. I like Liam Cohen as an offensive mind. Like, his demeanor is just so goofy. I cannot get behind him as a head coach. Like, I'm almost getting like Spags vibes where I'm just wondering if this guy's much better as a coordinator instead of like a leader of men. I know this is like very surface level of me, like judging him like this, but like until he proves it as a head coach, I'm going to lean under. I got them at 7-10, but like I would not be surprised if I'm dead wrong about this. Like if Houston doesn't win the division, I think this is going to be the team that gets it done. Sean, what do you think here?
Their win total's at 7.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough. Duval, I mean, give me a break. That was a terrible promo he cut. Yeah, it's tough. They're going to San Francisco. They got Chiefs on the schedule. Boy, I don't know. I think you're right. The number's just about right. If he can coach these guys up, Jacksonville can win the South. But I'm with you, Eric. He's got to prove it to me first. I got no bet here on this. No lean.
You in the show me mode, Tito, like Sean and I are?
I don't know. I'm still trying to get over you saying is he a leader of men? Big whoop. It's a football team. My God, what are we doing here? I can't stand Liam Cohen. I think the guy is an absolute fraud. I think this franchise is an absolute fraud. Jaguars come home. They got to come to St. Louis, Jack. That won't ever happen, but I could wish. So no, I'm going to stay the hell away from this franchise. And Trevor Lawrence, Big Wolf, will probably get hurt again. and Duval. What a big wolf of a name.
So terrible. Indianapolis Colts, the most mediocre franchise in the NFL. If I had to give them a label, just feel like they're right around this every year. Win total 7.5, over and under, both -110. Tito, what do you got on the Colts?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the Colts either. I'm not a big fan of this AFC South except for the damn Texans. I'll tell you that right now. So I don't know. They got another easy schedules right is listed as the Colts and Jaguars. So I'm going to stay away from this one because you never know with the Colts whether Jonathan Taylor is back to being healthy and being what he was a couple of years ago. I don't even know who the hell the quarterback is. Is it
Daniel Jones?
Daniel Jones, not Anthony Richardson.
So that's actually moved. It was, I think, a few weeks ago. There were odds out there about who starts week 1 for the Colts, and it was pretty even. Over the last week, Richardson has spiked up as a huge favorite. I think he's over. I think it's like -350 was what I read yesterday that Richardson starts week 1. Did you give a pick here, Tito? What did you say?
I would stay away from it.
Yeah, it's actually leaning on the over for me. I got them at 8 and 9. I know people don't like Anthony Richardson. I know he's been out with injury a lot. He's had some really bad games.
They don't like him because he said I was tired.
I remember that. But that's he's had some very explosive games when you look at his fantasy stats, and this team still found a way to win at least 8 games each of the last 2 seasons with him on the roster. And if you remember, it was a year ago, Richardson was going pretty high in fantasy drafts, and then he completely busted. I saw in Fantasy Pros, he's the QB 29 right now in preseason. I just got a feeling here in his 3rd year. I'm not saying he's a breakout, but I just think we see a step forward where I'm not saying he's going to be a top 12 quarterback, but I think he's going to be one of those guys that's like an attractive streaming option and a good matchup. So I just think that, again, they've been at 8. They got to 8 wins each of the last 2 years. I feel like this number should be 1 win higher. So I lean over 7.5, but I don't want to put my money on Anthony Richardson. Shawn?
I agree with you on the breakdown of Richardson completely, but I don't think he has it. When you're a grown man in the NFL and you come over and say, I was tired, I mean, you talk about leader of men. He can't lead, his team. He can't be the leader of the offense and say, I'm tired. Come on. So I think if Daniel Jones was a quarterback, I'd really like to bet the over. I think he is a leader of men. And now that he's out of New York, I think this could be a good opportunity for him. I'd like to see Jones be the starter, actually, over Richardson. I think he can manage the game better. But no bet here because I don't believe in Richardson. I would have to take the under if he's the starter.
Tennessee Titans, their total is at 6.5 with the under at -145, over +120. Shawn, what do you have picked out on the Titans?
I don't love the juice there, but I like the under. Cam Ward, first year. I think this is a rebuilding franchise. He'll make some plays. He'll run around. He'll be okay for fantasy mid, I'd say maybe 15, 16 by the end of the season. But no way I could take the over. I would take the under.
Tito, do you agree?
Sure. No opinion whatsoever on the Titans. Let's keep on moving. We got to get to best bets soon.
Yeah, I hear you. I feel like Cam Ward has been the least talked about number 1 overall pick that I could remember. Even when he got drafted, I think all the talk was about Shadur Sanders. So Cam Ward's he's QB 27 on Fantasy Pros. So I don't think we're getting some kind of explosion here like we did with Jaden Daniels last year. So lean under 6.5, but yeah, not a bet for me at that price. AFC West, Chiefs, same as it was a few weeks ago when we talked about them. 11.5 is the total. Unders at -120. I know you guys both said over a few weeks ago. Are you sticking with that, Tito?
Yeah, absolute fraud of a franchise. Big wolf. Get out of here, Chiefs. I can't believe I'm going with the over.
Shawn?
Yeah, over. I think Mahomes gets the MVP this year. I think he's fired up.
Yeah, I leaned under on the Chiefs preview show a few weeks ago. I'm actually revising that to lean over. And the reason's real simple. I had projected their road game with the Chargers as a loss, but then I looked closer this week. I saw that game's actually in Brazil.
Yeah.
NFL's not letting Mahomes lose that game in Brazil.
That's right.
And I think that's the difference between 11 and 12 wins. So I lean over here with the Chiefs. Denver Broncos, 9.5 over and under, both -110. This is a bet for me. I'm going under. I think they got some luck last year. They won 10 games. They made the playoffs because the Chiefs decided to punt that last game. If Broncos make the playoffs, to go up to Buffalo and just get their absolute asses handed to them. I'm not a Bo Nix believer. He's going to be fine in fantasy because of the rushing. I just think if you look at the second-year quarterbacks, he's the one that stands out to me where the league kind of figures him out and he takes a step back. I like their defense, obviously. I think the Broncos finished with 9 wins, but I feel strong enough about Knicks. I'm going to bet the under here at -110. Shawn, do you agree or disagree?
Yeah, that's pretty much the breakdown I gave when we talked about them. I agree, under.
Tito?
Yeah, bunch of frauds. Peyton's a fraud. Knicks is a fraud. Go under.
All right, I'll be betting the Broncos. Chargers also at 9.5. So preparing for this show, I went through every single game for every team, marked it as a win or a loss, just to make sure I'm consistent. You don't want to like, I got everybody going under or something like that. My numbers actually said bet the under on the Chargers. I don't want to bet against Harbaugh. Like, all this guy does in the NFL is win. He's never had a losing season in 5 years. So lean on the under, but there's no way I'm going to bet that. Shawn, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't believe in Herbert. Big arm, but he's always a mediocre quarterback. When it comes down to it, you watch Herbert always choke away the win too. I think in the playoffs he choked away a win a couple of years ago. So I'd have to lean under.
Tito?
I'm going under on this one as well.
All right. The last one, Las Vegas Raiders totals at 6.5, and you got juice on the over here. -145. Tito, kick us off on the Raiders.
Yeah, Pete Carroll, and you talked about with the Ashton Gentry.
Genty, yeah.
Genty, I like him a lot. So I would go with the over on this one.
Yeah, I'm in agreement, Tito. I think Pete Carroll can wake up and, show up. I don't know how this guy's still running around, all the energy he's got, but I like the over as well. I think they can get to 8 wins.
It's unanimous over for me, but I want a better price of -145.
Yeah.
I think I'd bet if it get down to -120. I trust Carroll. Gino, that's an upgraded QB. Yeah, Genty, I think is going to be a monster. I think the Raiders, I got them at 7 and 10. So like the over there. All right, so that's all the teams in the AFC. Shawn, what is your favorite one of the ones we just talked about?
It would be Pittsburgh over 8.5.
Tito, what was your best one?
Dolphins over 7.5.
Man, I might have to fade you on that. Bengals over 9.5 for me at -120. Maybe I'll rethink my pick on them to win the AFC North, but I think they win 10 at least. Easy. All right, that's our NFL talk for this week. Make sure to catch our show next week. We're going to do the same thing for all the teams in the NFC. So keep it locked here in STL Sports Central. Domesticated Gamblers, your home for football betting talk all season long. Absolutely love talking football here on the show. All right, best bets sponsored by Pretzel Boys. Again, this is a chance for you, the viewer, to cash in. All you got to do is drop us a comment on this video with your best bet. If you're the first person to comment and your bet hits, you win a $20 gift card from Pretzel Boys. If the first person loses their bet, that's okay. The second commenter will win the gift card if they hit their best bet, so on and so forth. So give us your best bet right now in the comments. For our best bets last week, Tito nailed the Nick Kurtz play. But I still have the honors here because I cashed in for a second straight week. I was on Minnesota. Tito, this is the rules, man. I've won 2 in a row now. So Minnesota to beat St. Louis City SC. City, right on brand. They collapsed late. They lose 2-1. So my best bet, I just think the arrow is really pointing up on the Padres and it's pointing down on the Cardinals. So I obviously like the play I talked about earlier. But for a best bet, I want a winner here. I want 3 in a row. I'm going to take the Padres -1 at -132. I don't want to give out -190 or whatever it is now. I'm not a fan of laying odds like that. But so the Padres win by 1. It's a push. But my best bet, San Diego Padres -1 at -132 on DraftKings. All right, Dr. Prop, you're up next. What'd you pick out this week?
Dr. Prop's got a doozy for you all. My best bet for this weekend, I'm going to go with Sterling Marte, 2 or more total bases. I'm going to go with a parlay of him plus Corey Seager getting 2 or more total bases and Julio Rodriguez going over 1.5 total bases. That's a plus 1,205 parlay jack. I'm going to go with that. I'm going to double down, triple down. I'm so good at these props. I got 3 of my top props right here, Jack. Starling Marte, he's 9 for 29 against Robbie Ray. He's got 4 singles, 3 doubles. He's probably going to hit his over on the total basis that first at bat. Corey Seager, he's got 2 doubles against Logan Gilbert with a couple singles as well. And then he's been on fire of the last few weeks with an OPS over 900. And then Julio Rodriguez, he's been launching the ball, Daddy. He's got 2 home runs against Jack Leiter. He's been on fire since the All-Star break. I think he's got 5 home runs since the All-Star break. So I love the over 1.5 total bases there. So
well, listen, I'm going to stop you because I don't think you mean Starling Marte. I think you mean Ketel Marte.
No, I mean Starling Marte, Jack. Look at the stats, Jack.
Yeah, you're right. I saw the same thing where he has great career stats, but I just think that's a lot from early in his career when he was a much better player.
He's been really good over the last 2 weeks as well. He's got an OPS over 1. He's got an average of over 500. He's 6 for 11 over the last 2 weeks, Jack.
So
my goodness.
Is that 2 or more total bases for all 3 of those guys?
Essentially, yes. The Julio Rodriguez play is an over-under play. It's over 1.5 total bases. So, but the Seager and Marte plays are 2 or more total bases.
Okay, so it's the same thing, but yeah, you might just have to find it at a different place on DraftKings. All right, Tito's going big, and what were the odds on that again?
Plus 1,205.
All right, boy, I hope my text chain is lighting up tonight with these guys cashing in. Shawn, let's start a winning streak here. What is your best bet?
I mean, this isn't 2020, Tito. Starling Marte, give me a break. This guy's washed.
Pretty good.
I don't like it. Eric, I'm with you on the Padres, but I'm going to go ahead and take it at -1.5 at plus 120. I think the Birds get whooped tonight, and give me the Padres -1.5 run line.
All right, guys, that is going to do it for our show here today. Hit the like
What
button.
about the home team play of the week?
We're out of time. We got to move on.
Got to go.
Just
We're all fading the Birds.
Yeah, just fade the Birds.
No, I'm not fading the Birds.
Tito's not fading the Birds. That's right. All right, well, hit the like button. Subscribe to the STL Sports Central YouTube channel. Again, drop us a comment here with your best bet for a chance to win a $20 gift card to Pretzel Boys. Also, reminder, you can email us anytime with anything you want to talk about. We're happy to read it and discuss on the show. You can do that at domesticatedgamblers@gmail.com and support the advertisers, guys. Take just a few minutes, get a quote from James Carlton with State Farm Insurance. There's Shawn's pretty face again. I'm highly confident, for real, that James is going to be able to save you money like he did for me and for Tito. The phone number is 314-961-4800 or go to carltoninsurance.net. You'll see his info in the YouTube description. For Shawn, for Tito, I am Eric. This has been Domesticated Gamblers here on STL Sports Central, presented by DraftKings. The crown is yours. Thanks for being with us, guys, and we will see you next Friday.
And let's cash some bets.